Alright, this is the Heat Signature Daily Challenge for the 3rd of January 2019. It is a steal mission with a technophobe who's vindictive, cannot harm anyone. Interesting to start with a short blade then. Got an emergency shield and a high-capacity crash trap. So, gonna try to not use the short blade at all. One thing I keep forgetting is on minimize harm missions. I keep forgetting that it's only 5 points off if you just knock someone unconscious. I was doing lots of math based on it being 10. But anyway, this one, just wait for the patrols to go by so I can steal this key card. Loot the crate. The crate had a crash beam. An extreme range, medium capacity crash beam. Turn off the sentry gun. Don't know which way they're coming. Turns out they're coming this way. I really should have dropped the crash trap there, but it turns out they're going to be staying in that upper one. So when they leave, I can just grab the next key card. These first 2 sectors, exceedingly simple. Obviously, if this turns out to be a perfect daily, I've lost a lot of time. Didn't even get noticed for a second on stealing that key card. Get the goods and head away. Of course, waiting for these two to get out of here before I run by. The dual person... yeah, I didn't know how long that person had been standing there, so I definitely could have gotten by, but I wasn't sure. The 2-person patrols are annoying, because you can't just sneak behind someone. It's probably why they do it. So yeah, ghosted the first mission, and picked up some gear that I hadn't even used yet. This ship has a jammer and a defender, so that's not looking wonderful. Obviously, the defender doesn't matter, because I don't want to be harming people anyway, but the jammer would be annoying. I do a lot of pretty poor flying today. And the defender was in the first room. I was crashing the telepad, but it did have the benefit of crashing the defender. And then my goal here is just to crash everyone so they can't set off the alarm. I guess the alarm doesn't matter. This is a reinforcement ship, and I've already crashed the telepad. So this is a lot of wasted time here, because the alarm is negligible now. It does have the benefit of crashing the jammer, and they've only put down 2 jamming fields so far. So that's good for me. And then I spend ages messing things up. Wait for a lot of patrols to go by, only some of which I do in fast forward. And then go to try to get this guy's key. Get it. So now I have, if I can get through, a way to get into the next sector. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard to get through. Everyone at this point has been crashed. And that was me holding fast forward too long. I tried to let go, and then it messed up when coming out of a pause screen, and so I got seen, and I got knocked out, and then my vindictive trait knocked out a guard, which means I've blown a perfect daily at this point. I was thinking I had -10 score here. It was only -5. I'm slowly waiting for this person to continue. And they slowly inch their way out of this room. But it is not fast enough for me, and I get impatient. Looking back through this, I don't know if there are certain times where the emergency shield would have saved me a lot of hassle. Here, I thought I could maybe get around him, forgetting it would be a shotgun. And also, that was obviously very close range. I wasn't sure if I would have a little more breathing room to move when they got to their full alert state. But knowing that there are shotguns and knowing how much room I had now, I, again, thought I could juke around them. And that is one sector taken care of, so to speak. So here, I'm just gonna try to, again, wait and crash people and hope this guy comes around with the key that I can grab. I was planning on, at this point, once I get this key, to just try and sprint through this sector and get to the next one. But a couple problems happened. One is just it took me longer than I expected because I clipped that corner and went on the wrong side of the wall. So I did not steal the key at that point. Going fast forward, waiting for the guy to come around. Also, I've obviously picked up my trap, so it's not there to crash that guard. So there is one uncrashed guard in this sector. And I'm just waiting for the guy to come around with the key. And the jammer was there. I guessed wrong on which way the jammer was going to go. And couldn't get out of that shotgun blast. But this is nice because now everyone on the ship is in one little area. Everyone nearby is in one little area. So I don't remember how many people I've knocked out at this point. But at this point, I think I could have gotten... If I remembered correctly and done the math, I could have been number one on the scoreboards. But at this point, I did the incorrect math and thought that because I was thinking people were minus 10 points, I was just counting this ship as completely lost and decided to just start shooting people. Thought I could grab this guy's gun and get around before he shot me. It was wrong. I also could have done potentially better on this ship if I had known something that was brought to my attention by Ranico after this, which is you can pick up your grenades from the pause screen if you're vindictive. If you've been knocked out and dropped a grenade, you can pick it up from the pause screen. I did want to go get this other chest, so I didn't leave the ship immediately. Again, right here, I'm gonna hope to sprint by this guy before he can do anything, but I couldn't. And he woke up the pilot, and luckily the pilot was shielded and the other guy was out of range, so that was one knockout I was saved from. But yeah, if I had known I could pick up my grenades from the pause screen, which I did think about at one point. There was one time during this run where I was paused and looked at, in the teleporter screen, the fact that the grenade was there. And I just didn't process that, oh, that means I can pick up the grenade. I'm not sure how this would have been different. Obviously, I probably would have been seen and ejected a lot more times, but I could have saved some points at least. Some points possibly would have been lost to maybe people's bullets bouncing off shields and things like that. Unfortunately, I knocked out one more person there, but it also knocked me out of range, so I could get away. I mean, I had everything I wanted, so if they'd found me and thrown me off the ship, it would have been fine. So that was, in my mind, a disastrous 0-point ship 2. So I was very surprised when I turned in the mission to find that, oh no, I got 85 points because no one was killed. It was all non-lethal damage. This last ship has 2 defenders and a thing. What's the really mean one? The Predator. 2 defenders and a Predator. I was not looking forward to this. I had picked up a Visitor and a Sidewinder. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I have both a Visitor and a Sidewinder by this point. So I visit to there to drop a crash trap, hoping that those folks are gonna walk in that way. But after watching a few patrol patterns, I see that they're not gonna go down. So I'm just gonna have to wait until this person who's looking at me is gone or is headed back, and then I can run in and reset the crash trap in the middle of that room. The problem is they all have heat shields, which means my timing is a lot more tense, but I'm going to teleport the crash trap back to me, and just on the edge of theirs, try to go in and put it down, but I get seen. And the gunshot is going to set off the alarm. So I sidewind around all those folks. I was able to get the key, so I am into the next section. I visit to kill the pilot. I thought for a split second that maybe I should short blade the pilot. I was willing to take the extra hit for doing lethal damage in order for no one else to hear. In retrospect, I saw that I wasn't going to be able to get around to the pilot in time. In retrospect, obviously I should shoot the pilot because it doesn't matter if those guards hear me, because clearly they're locked in that sector. They're not going to do anything. If the pilot's gone, the alarm doesn't matter. So as you can see, I got one more key. I was trying to get around before those guys could see, but I didn't. I noticed the Predator just in time to crash him with my final charge on the extreme range crash beam. And at this point, I realized I can just visit, sidewind, and steal. So that's what I did. And there's a handy window for me right here. So, final ship, only one person harmed. Still would have been nice with 0, but not too bad. Again, if I'd used my emergency shields are something I really don't know how to use. I'm sure it could have helped me on the first ship. I would have been afraid of them shooting themselves. But yeah, so 5 points off on that mission. And 70 points off altogether means second place, which is nice. I never looked at any of the shops, so I don't know if I could have spent a little bit of money and saved... Like, if there were a couple more teleporters in the shop that I could have bought, ship 2 would have been great.